guys, we've got a great episode for you today with Lorenzo Sartini and Kody Smith of GoHunt.com and GoHunt.com Insider. And they've got a lot of great things going on over there at GoHunt.com, and they've got some exciting news to tell you about today. And I want to thank GoHunt.com Insider for their title sponsorship of this podcast. And they've been supporting me from the beginning. And if you're not already an Insider member, I want to encourage you to do so. You can go on GoHunt.com, click on Insider, click on the blue Join Now button, and use the J Scott promo code when you sign up, and you will receive a $50 KUIU gift card automatically from GoHunt.com. I also want to thank DeadeyeOutfitters.com for their sponsorship of this podcast, and I want to thank them for raising a bunch of money in the month of October for breast cancer awareness. Check them out at DeadeyeOutfitters.com. They make great hunting t-shirts and hats and hoodies. Go check them out. I've gotten a lot of feedback from J Scott Outdoors podcast listeners on the great stuff that they've got over there. Guys, I want to thank you for your support of this podcast. I want to thank you for all the emails and all the encouraging words that you guys send me through Facebook and Instagram. I wanted to let you know that you can follow along our adventures at J Scott Outdoors on Instagram and at Dark Holborn. You can also go to our website, jscottoutdoors.com, and on Facebook and YouTube, J Scott Outdoors. Guys, thanks so much for supporting us, and thanks for your kind words. Let's get right to the episode with Lorenzo Sartini and Kody Smith. Welcome to the J Scott Outdoors podcast. Today we have a special episode with Kody Smith and Lorenzo Sartini of GoHunt.com, GoHunt.com Insider, and we've got a lot of cool things to share today. These guys have been doing some hunting here this fall and have been on some great hunts, and there's some great things going on at GoHunt.com that we're going to get into, and some big announcements. And guys, it's always great to have you on the podcast. How you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for having us back on. It's always fun to be on here talking hunting stories and what's going on over here, so appreciate it.
Absolutely. And Kody, I know you've been on a bunch of hunts as of late and have struck gold, so to speak, on a few of these hunts. How's it going?
It's going great. It's going great. Yeah, I've been fortunate to have a great season starting out in Wyoming and then in Utah, and hopefully finish it off in Idaho here in a week.
Nice. Chasing big mule deer bucks. I saw you got two different bucks, both unique in their own right, and then you've got another Idaho mule deer hunt coming up.
Yeah, real fortunate to harvest some really nice typicals, a Wyoming typical and a Utah typical. The Wyoming buck was with my bow. The Utah buck was with a rifle, and then headed into a late season rut hunt in Idaho on Saturday, and that's a rifle hunt also for mule deer.
Nice. I've got a few buddies, Steve Ranella and Giannis Patelis over at the Meat Eater, just recently hunted in Idaho and have shot a couple really nice bucks. And your buck with the bow in Wyoming, was that a real tough hunt? Was it a low-density thing, or did you see a bunch of deer?
No, honestly, that was, and I probably shouldn't say anything, but it was the funnest archery hunt I've ever been on. It was extremely tough. The area that we were hunting, there was no water. So all the water that you had at, elevations 8,000, 9,000 feet, you actually packed in. We used some pack goats. I own a couple pack goats that we utilized. So from a hunting standpoint, it was really extreme, real steep, some extreme weather. It was really hot at the first and then got really, really cold. But from a game perspective, it was an absolute riot. A lot of deer, a lot of good bucks, and a lot of opportunity for us as archery hunters on that hunt.
We actually have a Go Hunt original film coming out on his hunt. I've only seen a little bit of the footage. We haven't really started editing the story of it, but I've obviously heard it from Kody's mouth and seen the footage of the deer he was after. And it looks as good as he's saying. I mean, they were chasing bucks like crazy. So I definitely don't,
That's great.
Yeah, I definitely don't feel bad for him on the lacking water, because the deer were definitely not lacking.
Yeah, just speaking to an Arizona boy, and I guess for that matter, Lorenzo, a Nevada boy, lack of water, that's just normal for us.
Exactly. Lack of water and 90 degrees. That's completely normal. And then when you
that just seems like a normal hunt.
You think you have a buck cornered on a little small spring, you get 3 inches of rain in 2 days and can't ever find him again.
Yeah, exactly. Lorenzo, you've been on some hunts yourself. You guys slayed some antelope. I know you took some of the Go Hunt staff and such, and you guys had an unbelievable antelope season, and then you've been on some hunts yourself this year.
Yeah, I was on. It's been the year of the antelope for me this year, and other than that, it's been probably the hardest hunting year on myself. Like, I don't know what it's been this year, but I've had nothing but bad luck when it comes to deer. I was on that Colorado hunt with Brady. We found that giant. We went in there and arrowed it. He's been on social media posting about it and stuff, but he hit a buck. It's a really, really big buck that we found opening day. Couldn't find it. And then I had 2 really good antelope hunts. I've been on 7 antelope kills this year, which is by far the most antelope kills I've ever been on in a year.
And some dang good bucks,
yeah,
too.
I think the smallest buck we've killed out of all 7 is 77 inches. So, I mean,
awesome.
It was an awesome year for the antelope, but I went straight to that, to my Utah deer hunt, and just could not get any luck to go my way. Had a gun malfunction, had the weather turn wrong, just it did not go my way. It was a grind hunt. I was out there for 10 days, all 10 days, got rained on, got muddy, had all kinds of gear malfunctions, and it just it was one of those grind years where I couldn't get it done. Ended up eating my tag at the end of the year, but it's the way it goes sometimes. I guess it'll make next year that much better for me.
Yeah, I was going to say the next one you get and you have a sweet hunt, it's going to make it that much sweeter for sure.
Exactly.
And that's awesome, guys, to talk to you about your hunts. I've had a good season so far. Had a great hunt in Unit 9, although taxing at times. My hunter harvested on the 12th day of the hunt, 12th evening, and not the biggest bull that we were after, but we had a great time. It's his biggest bull, and
Awesome.
Had a great hunt, and then just did the Arizona super big game raffle desert bighorn sheep hunt, and Frank was able to harvest a great ram.
That ram is beautiful. I love those wide longhorn rams.
It's amazing, 31 inches wide. Bob O'Connor shot a ram last year with us, and it was 31 inches wide, and I didn't think we could top that. And Frank's ram, 31 inches wide, second largest shot on this raffle hunt, and so
That's awesome.
That was pretty exciting, and a lot of good scouting going on here for sheep. And I'm leaving here in a few days for Parker's Dar's 13-year-old son has 13B, the Arizona Strip. So excited for that hunt, and then get back and do some more sheep hunting.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, so it's going good. Lorenzo, I wanted to ask you, we're going to get into a lot of stuff today about Go Hunt, but, give me kind of the state of the union of Go Hunt over there right now.
Yeah, it's bittersweet because as tough and unlucky as my hunting season has been, and now it's over, it's been the exact opposite for Go Hunt. We've had an unbelievable acceptance of what we've been doing so far. A lot of people have supported the brand on social, seen our hats and our logo a lot of different places. Looking back, we're not even a year old so far, and to see that type of penetration into the industry so far is it's pretty humbling. I mean, we talk about it in the office all the time. It's a great feeling to know that the hard work is paying off so far, and we're seeing it go the right way. And as far as the company goes, as far as the brand goes, we have a major I don't know what you want to call it, facelift enhancement. The brand's going to stay the same, but a reproduct of what we have out there in Insider. And, we talk about it in here, and we use this term game changing. And, a lot of people use it in kind of a cliche form, but I really do think we are on the verge of game changing technology and game changing information for the hunting industry. We've been hard at work to pull off this new enhancement, and we actually just got it turned over to us as far as the usability and the information at hand for us in the office to start testing it. And we spent the last 2 days testing. We call it filtering 2.0, and I know that's not going to mean a lot to people just over the podcast or from the words out of my mouth, but once they see it, it's pretty special. I mean, we were in here, and just in the hour, 2 hours we were on it, every single one of us in the office uncovered some form of secret in each state about a new hunt we want to try out, or a new unit that's on fire, kind of that what's hot, what's not type information, that trending information. And it was exciting for us to just be in here and kind of talk through it and go through the usability. So we have the new brand. It's called Filtering 2.0, the new product called Filtering 2.0. And that is what's going to launch in mid to end November. And it's, to me, as the founder and president of Go Hunt, and also as an avid hunter myself, it's another cliche term, but it's a dream come true for me, just because it's the first time the product has fully vested into what the original vision I had in my head. And it's finally there, and I think a lot of people are gonna see why we are different, see why we are the new movement, and see why more people are going to GoHunt.com to get their hunting information.
Lorenzo, from someone that's, I've been in the industry for a long, long time, and one of the things that is so impressive to me from all the meetings that I've had with you and such is you have a huge desire to be on the cutting edge. And I think from what you've told me about the enhancements that are taking place, that you are right on the cutting edge of this, and it's exciting to me to hear some of the things that are going to be happening. And certainly I've only been privy to a few things, but here in a couple weeks, when you launch, I can't wait to see all of the stuff that's going to be involved.
Yeah, and that means a lot to our side too, coming from a guy like you who's been a pivotal role in the industry for such a long time, and you've seen so many things come and go, and you've stayed on the cutting edge as well on everything that you've been doing. Now you're in my opinion, the leading Western podcast and kind of all of the new stuff. So it means a lot coming from you. So we appreciate that.
Well, that's great. I appreciate the kind words. I'm excited to see what you guys have got going on. I wanted to ask you about the outfitter directory and some of the things going on at Go Hunt and Go Hunt Insider. What is the outfitter directory?
So to first start off, there is finding a hunt or booking hunts, or all of those terms in the hunting industry. And most Western hunters are familiar with booking a hunt or going through a broker or any one of those. I have no problem saying it, but any one of those negative experiences that leaves them kind of in the dark and not knowing what to expect. So as Go Hunt being on the cutting edge and staying innovative, we wanted to do things completely different. Go the way of Expedia.com, Kayak.com, all of those, consumer-facing products to let the consumer make up their own mind. So the first thing that Go Hunt had to do was go out and find the right guy to take ownership, to take control of vision, to take control of the operations, to get the outfitter directory and our landowner tags and all of that to the right spot. And we found Kody Smith out of Cedar City, who, first of all, is a straight-up killer when it comes to hunting. So that definitely helps us out as a company. But secondly, he is pivotal to that role. And he's owned that vision of the outfitter directory and how we were going to go about people finding hunts and finding tags and leaving it as an open market or a free market. And he'll fill you in on basically what that vision was and how it works and why it's there.
Awesome.
Yeah, so, Jake, when Chris and Lorenzo brought me in and they explained the outfitter directory and the direction we wanted to go with it, there was a huge void within the industry that we felt we could fill. But we didn't quite know how to do it. We knew there was a void. We knew we could find a solution, and we just started working towards the solution. And that's where we came up with the outfitter directory, which then evolved into what we call business members with our outfitters and our outfitter partnerships, which then evolved to tag listings, and will continue to evolve as we move forward. but primarily the outfitter directory right now is the space on our website, on our platform, where hunters can go to find outfitters. It's also the space for outfitters to push their company, their business. And what's unique about it is we push the phone numbers of the outfitters, not necessarily like an outfitter number or something like that.
So, Kody, one thing that's interesting to me is in no way, shape, or form are you guys trying to hide who these outfitters are. You're actually trying to promote the outfitters and trying to make the public well aware of all of the outfitters and the business members as well as the other outfitters. It's an interesting concept, whereas I think there has been some other approaches to somewhat try and keep the outfitters a secret. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Exactly. What we've been able to do and establish is basically we become the stub hub of hunting. If you want to find any type of tickets to a concert, tickets to a football game, it's an open market. You can see exactly what's available in front of you. All the information is there on the website in front of you. You don't need to call anybody and ask questions and get opinionated answers, very opinionated answers. You don't need to deal with those brokers anymore who are referring you to their best friend, which in turn is also the highest paid commission to that broker as well. It's a very kind of dark, closed off world. And what GoHunt has been able to do is become that stub hub, that free open market where a user can see, the price of hunts and the price of tags right next to each other to compare them and feel like they are making the decision themselves, which they are making the decision themselves because they have all the information right there in front of themselves. Yeah,
and I noticed you guys also, you let the outfitters, you let them write stories and such. When there's interaction there between the outfitters and the users on the website, what is your thinking behind that?
Yeah, so with the stories, that was an idea. We launched our outfitter directory in March of this year. And as we began to build it, we see the outfitters, we see our business member partners as a huge resource. We don't want to hide them. We want to get them out in front of our insiders. And quite frankly, if I'm from Utah, I've been to Arizona before, but if I'm going to Arizona, I want to talk to the expert. I want to talk to the Jay Scotts or the big Chinos, these guys that are hunting it every year for the last 25, 30 years. And so what we've done is leveraged our outfitters to help us with content on the site. And basically all that is just bringing in the resident expert, whether it be OTC in Arizona, lion hunting in Idaho or wolf hunting in Idaho. We like to keep our outfitters involved to bring that next level of information to our users.
Yeah, it makes sense. Absolutely. And,
kind of sorry, Jay, but kind of a business term of that is it's called native advertising. It's kind of the new school way of advertising. Instead of, having banner ads or having, a commercial spot or something like that. It's basically living content on a website that is produced by, someone who wants to get their name out there or someone who wants to get the information out there about them being the best at what they do. So we are big on native advertising and allowing companies like some of our brand partners like Zeiss and Kuyu, along with our outfitters, to have that ability to native advertise to our members and our insiders.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. I noticed also the outfitter tag listings. What's up with them tagging the listings?
Yeah, that was another, as we launched this and as we created our vision here at the GoHunt office, that was something that came about later, sometime in May. And we started to realize that there's a real need for our insiders or our users that are on the site to find hunts and to connect with outfitters. The traditional methods of, calling a booking agent and they give you a number, but you never talk to the outfitter until you actually pay. You don't actually know what you're getting into. We saw a problem with that. As a hunter and as a user myself, I want to, if I'm going to the dealership to buy a car, I want to test drive the car I'm going to buy. And so we started to play around with letting our outfitters list hunt packages, is what we call them, on our Landowner Tags section of the website. And it was a huge success. I went about this. I come from a background of corporate sales for the last 8 years, but prior to that, I grew up in my father's been successful in selling a number of small businesses. And so I come from a background of kind of developing and building and finding solutions. And the listing was a solution to a problem that we received or we heard from our outfitters, in that the outfitters said, hey, we want our phones to ring. As we sat down with focus groups of outfitters, the number one or number two thing they told me every time is, I don't want you to book a hunt for me. I want to book my own hunt. Sometimes, I'm a backcountry guy. We go 10 miles on a horse, and if you book a feller that's a little bit overweight, he's not going to enjoy this hunt.
Right.
So we listened to that. We brought it back into the Go Hunt house, and we said, okay, how can we solve this? How can we turn this into a positive? And we started to play around with the tag listings.
And what exactly does that mean, Kody?
So basically, the tag listing gives the outfitters a platform to advertise their hunts. You can go underneath the Landowner Tag section of the Go Hunt website, and you'll see some Go Hunt owned tags, that you can buy, and you can buy those from us, and you can go on a great hunt. And you will also see tags that are listed by outfitters, and we will give you a brief description of that hunt. A lot of times it includes a 5-minute YouTube video of that outfitter, maybe some social links like Facebook or Instagram. And by the time you spend 5 minutes on our site on that hunt listing, you pretty much know what this outfitter is. And from that point, his email address, the outfitter's phone number is right there, and you can call him up and you can say, hey, Mr. Outfitter, I saw your tag listing on Go Hunt. I'm interested in your, I see you have a cougar tag that's available in March 3rd of this year. I see that it's priced for $5,000. I'm really interested in booking a hunt with you. Tell me more about it. It's great for our insiders or our users that are on the tag listings, because they're finding hunts for themselves, hunts that fit them, and doing their own homework. They're calling the outfitter. They develop the relationship with that outfitter within a 5-minute phone call. If you're going to get along with that outfitter or not. If you're going to enjoy the hunt. And from the outfitter perspective, same way. They're building a relationship with the client. They're fielding the phone call, and they're building their book of business.
Guys, what would you say the future of the outfitter directory is?
It's interesting. The sky's the limit is where we feel. We feel like we broke down a lot of walls. When we started this, the outfitter directory, I can remember getting some phone calls from guys that have been in the business for a long time and outfitted for a long time, and basically said, dude, you left your job to do that. There's no way you can make that run. But fortunately, I'd caught the vision. I knew we could do it. Next steps on the outfitter directory, we're going to expand within the tag listings. Just this week, from the outfitter standpoint, we released the ability for our outfitters to list and promote predator hunts. So bear hunts, cougar hunts, wolf hunts, and those will start populating the site today. Actually, we've already got 2 that are on the site and about another 3 that we've got to add today before the end of the day. It's a huge opportunity. Jay, I'll go to Arizona because you are from Arizona. There's some OTC predator hunts available in Arizona that nobody knows about. I've hunted 27 and Unit 27 and Unit 1 for bears on a couple of times. And honestly, one of the funnest hunts I've ever been on. But people don't think of Arizona as a bear state. Of even, I have an opportunity to go there and harvest a really nice black bear, which you guys from Arizona, it's a little secret for you. You know you got some big bears down there.
Yeah.
So that's the next step is the predator listings for our outfitters, getting these cougars and these bear hunts online for our insiders to take advantage of and to have something to hunt this spring. The next step after that, and we're already halfway done with this step, is we are literally attaching outfitters to the units that they guide in. We've accomplished that in Nevada, Idaho, Wyoming, Colorado, and we'll continue on to the other states. Our goal is that when somebody draws a tag, so for example, if Kody Smith from Go Hunt draws a Unit 9 archery elk tag in Arizona, I can go to the outfitter directory, and as you know, we're big on filters. I can filter from, Arizona elk, Unit 9, and it'll show me the outfitters that outfit within that unit. And I can immediately start to look at outfitters that I want to hunt with.
That's awesome. That's kind of groundbreaking. It seems like it's been such a secret for so long. And, it has in some ways over time been a little bit of a good old boy society. And this seems like it's groundbreaking where it's pretty wide open, and it seems like you almost want the user, the insider member, to just have all the information so they don't feel like they're making a decision that isn't informed.
Absolutely. I mean, we're all about transparency. Lorenzo talked about filtering 2.0, and I don't think anybody on this podcast will quite understand what this means, but it's game-changing transparency within each state, and that's where we're headed with the outfitter directory. We want our insiders to be able to draw a tag, to jump online, and within 5 minutes of research, narrow down 3 or 4 outfitters that they're ready to call and possibly book with. It's a great experience for the end user, for the hunter, and it's a great experience for the outfitter. There's no good old boy, type of mentality there.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And speaking about landowner tags, how do you see the landowner setup being an advantage for insider members?
First and foremost, our insiders get 10% off all our Go Hunt owned landowner tags. So anything that we personally purchase in Nevada, New Mexico, Utah, the insiders get 10% off there. So it's a great opportunity if you don't draw a tag, if you don't draw the hunt that you were looking to hunt, but you still want to get in the field. Gives you the opportunity to get in the field. What's great, again, it's transparency. We list all our tags. We put the price online, and the first person to buy it, they get it. It's not I got to call this guy and make a down payment, and hopefully I get my tag, but I don't know if I'm going to for sure, but I'm in at $2,000 already because I made the down payment. Right then if you're going to get that tag. I go back to Lorenzo talking about, our vision for this is being the stub hub for hunt packages and landowner tags.
Why do you think that's better than traditional methods?
It gives everybody an opportunity. You can get on there. You can. What's unique about it? If you're an insider, you get on. You see a Unit 15 New Mexico elk tag, an archery tag that's available. Maybe it's $4,000. You have the link straight to the unit profile, so you know what caliber of animal is there. You call, you purchase that, and you're on your way for that hunt. It's really turnkey.
I noticed that Go Hunt, I'm pretty sure you guys learned some stuff with the landowner voucher tag changes in 2015. Tell me about that.
Yes, so there was a few changes. Colorado was the big one, and one thing in Colorado there is no third-party brokering anymore. So basically, what that means is I couldn't go to Colorado landowner Jay Scott and buy the tag and then sell it to my buddy Lorenzo. Jay Scott, the landowner, had to sell it directly to Lorenzo. And so traditionally we were able to go in and buy, good inventory of tags there in Colorado, where now we can't do that. What we can do in Colorado is similar to what we're doing with the outfitters, in that we can list the landowner's information on our website. And so we can, we have a huge network of landowners there in Colorado, and we work with them, and they'll call us up and say, hey, I have, 2 second season tags, 2 third season tags, and 1 fourth season tag. And we will list that information on our site so that our insiders, our members, can jump on and see what tags are listed, see the contact information, see the price, call that landowner, purchase the tag, and get on their way.
So let me get this straight. This isn't a situation where you guys have a relationship with owners in Colorado and 6 or 8 of the greatest tags go to you guys and then you list whatever's left. From what I'm hearing, you put all the tags up and then everybody gets a chance to buy them just as they come in.
Transparency, that's the beauty of it. It's real, it's an open book. Anybody can get at those tags, and if you're in the market to buy a tag, you're going to have an opportunity.
As far as supply and demand with the landowner tags in Colorado, what do you think by Colorado's change, what do you think it's going to do to, or what has it done to landowner tag prices?
It's really unfortunate. The change has lowered the supply. So basically there's less tags than there was last year. And in return, the demand's so high, it started to increase and inflate those tag prices. And it's a little unfortunate because you're going to start to see, some of those blue-collar hunters that could afford that $2,000 or $1,500 or $1,000 landowner tag. You're not going to see many of those anymore, just because they've cut back on the amount of landowner tags that they're giving. And so that's the real unfortunate thing that we've seen in Colorado.
And so, Kody, let's say you were looking for a mule deer hunt, and let's say, you didn't care whether it was Colorado, Idaho, Montana, or wherever. With the filtering system, you can just basically go and search for that mule deer hunt and also search in the landowner tag listings and see if anything comes up. Is that correct?
Yeah, so you got 2 options there. As an insider member, you can filter by, OTC tags or over-the-counter tags for mule deer. You can be looking in Idaho, Arizona, some of these other states that have those OTC options available, and you can filter those all down. From a landowner perspective, or landowner tags, you can go into the landowner tag section and filter by mule deer, filter by state, filter by your budget. Do you have $2,500? Do you have $1,000? $5,000? And start to find tags that meet your budget. So either way, whether you're looking for an over-the-counter tag or looking for a landowner tag, we'll have a solution for you.
That's awesome.
And just to plug Filtering 2.0 a bit more, and where we're taking this thing, but if you get a deep enough relationship with the states, these states, the biologists, the data that they keep on harvest reports, there is a lot of information you can learn from the history and the data that the state keeps and the biologists know. So what we've done is gone out there and collected this data in these information sets on the quality of animals, the type of hunts, the buck to doe ratios or bull to cow ratios, and all of those things which lead to how well or how good a hunt is going to be or how good a unit is trending. You're going to be able to filter through all of those data sets and find out which units are actually higher producing for 4-point or better, or higher producing for buck to doe ratios, things like that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, Jay. I'm probably going to get in trouble for sharing this, but I'm going on a hunt in Idaho. I leave Friday, start hunting on Saturday. At this hunt, I had no clue this unit ever existed. I knew from working with the landowner tags, I knew I wasn't going to get a third season landowner tag within my budget in Colorado. And so I knew I had some time in November to hunt, and I started looking for a hunt in November. And using the insider piece, using our research tool, I was able to find, I'm not going to give you the unit that I'm in, but I'll give you some specifics, and everyone's going to figure it out anyways. But the unit that I'm going to is a guaranteed rifle tag for November during the rut. It's a 3-point or better unit, and last year it had 76% harvest success.
On 4-point or better.
On 3-point or better.
Or on 3-point or better.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
And literally, I've never stepped foot in the unit, but with using Insider, I mean, I may be going on the hunt of a lifetime. I mean, 76% harvest success on 3-point or better on a guaranteed tag.
Yeah, that's pretty unbelievable. That's awesome. I can't wait to see how you do.
Right in the middle of the dead peak of the rut.
Absolutely.
Like dead peak of the rut. He's going to be out there chasing mule deer.
So, Lorenzo, I got a question for you. You know, you see the Apple iPhone, and you see, the new, 4S and the new 5S and the new 6 or whatever. You know, it's like every year there's a new thing. Right. My question would be, with this new filtering 2.0 system, as groundbreaking as, your original, what you put out originally at the beginning of this year, or in March of this year, is the next step, is this filtering 2.0, is it going to be groundbreaking compared to what you've already launched?
Yes, absolutely. I want to give, the team and these guys here that are working in the office day after day, putting in their time, putting in their work, some credit. And what we've been able to do so far is, it's pretty amazing. And like I said, we've been live for less than a year. We're on a great growth path. We have great brand identity in the industry so far. And what we came out with first was a lot of hard work. And, we are a technology company, and we actually compare ourselves to that Apple iPhone quite a bit. And that first Insider product that we came out with is the iPhone 1, the very first form of the iPhone. And we knew that, but in our minds, we never rest. We're always going to make the product better. We're always dedicated, to bringing the next best thing and staying ahead of the curve. And what we've been able to do with this new filtering 2.0 and these new enhancements is, if I had to equate it to that iPhone and what we talk about here in the office, we went from an iPhone 1 and we are on the iPhone 6. I mean, we took that big of a leap. To get back to what I said in the beginning, we're at the point where the product has finally met with the original vision that was in our heads. And it takes a lot of time and a lot of hard work to get a product to that point. But from now going forward, those enhancements, just like the iPhone, are going to be much more flexible, much faster. It's awesome. It's an exciting thing for us. And, I dare say the words, but part of that filtering 2.0 is the most in-depth form of draw odds you can think of. It's a full product.
So I have to ask you, when do you think it's going to drop, Lorenzo?
I'll say by the end of November.
Nice.
We're messing around with it in the office right now. We're making kind of the last tweaks and checking the data points and checking the functionality of it. But yeah, into November, beginning of December, 100% by the end of the year. But I'm confident saying end of November for sure.
Awesome. I can't wait to see it. And I've been, hearing little bits and pieces now for several months and kind of on the edge of my seat, waiting to see how it's going to be. And, sometimes I ask questions and then I get, you're just not going to believe it. And
that's I would say I'm not the best at communicating. I kind of get locked up in my own head sometimes, and I want to wait for the right time. But it's definitely the right time to start sharing, where we're at and where we're going and what we're going to bring to our end users.
That's awesome. That's fantastic, and I look forward to it. And it's always great working with you guys, and you guys have been a fantastic title sponsor of the podcast. And recently, you guys, for the month of October, did a Coues deer, Sonora, Mexico Coues deer hunt with Dar Colburn and myself at Colburn and Scott Outfitters. Yep. You just announced on November 2nd the winners of that hunt, and excited to go down there and hunt that rut hunt for Coues deer with
your guys that won, and kudos to you guys for all of the great hunts. We had Richard Glazer with that won the Doll Sheep hunt and at Nahanni Butte Outfitters, and that made a great episode, and he was ecstatic about winning that hunt and all the gear that you guys are giving away. It's a great time to be an insider member for sure.
I would agree, and I want to finish this out, kind of for the guys that are that are listening to the end of this podcast, which I definitely appreciate listening to our insight on the business. I know it's sometimes not as interest piquing as listening to some guys talk hunt stories and hunting information. So I appreciate the guys listening to the end and kind of getting an inside look at what GoHunt.com is and what we stand for. And, from us to them, we are definitely committed to staying different, being different, and staying ahead of the curve and just constantly adding value to our members and, allowing them to feel like they have the information at their fingertips and they don't have to spend any extra money or exert any extra energy trying to, find that hunt or that opportunity that they want to go on. And, part of the giveaways and the 10% off to Landowner Tags and all those things, it's just value add to our members. And, we're also committed to making that $149 membership the most packed with value possible. We want people to feel like it's the best $149 that they've spent. And we're always open ears to listening to what people would like from us, what they would want from us. I know our hunting giveaways are very popular, and we're committed to doing a lot more. We're actually in the process of buying another Doll Sheep hunt for next year that we're going to give away, and some elk hunts and a lot more great things. We always keep open ears to what people want and expect from us, and we try to make it as possible as it can be.
That's fantastic, and that's why it's had the success that it's had. And guys, it's exciting stuff, and I'm happy to be somewhat a part of it in having you guys as the title sponsor. And I really appreciate all the hard work that you've put into this. And I know you guys have been working so diligently on this filtering 2.0, and I can't wait to see it myself. And I just want to thank you guys for being on the podcast. And Kody, good luck on your hunt here coming up, and hopefully you get a big old buck. And I look forward to seeing you guys down the road. Is there anything you guys want to add?
No, I think we're good on this side.
No, thanks for your time, Jay. We appreciate you having us on, and it's always fun.
Yeah, definitely always fun. And just want to say thanks to the listeners too. Again, I mean, it's fun being able to be the title sponsor and be a part of that community, and also feel a part of your listeners. To feel a part of that community is nice.
That's awesome. Well, you guys take care, and God bless you, and we'll see you down the road, and I'll be looking forward to it.
Sounds good, Jay. Thanks,
Jay.